If you're a fat guy right now and you're like, I can't believe he said that about artificial sweeteners. They're totally dangerous. Being as fat as you are right now is more dangerous. Trust me on that. This is Mark Bell from SuperTraining Gym. SuperTraining Gym, the strongest gym in the West. I'm here at my house in Tahoe, Nevada, getting ready for some great holidays. I think there's some hidden elements to dieting that maybe you guys don't really hear me talk about a whole lot. And one of them would be like reading food labels. One of the coolest things I've ever heard about food labels comes from a guy named Rob Wolf. And Rob Wolf is the guy who created the paleo solution. And he's been a huge influence on me and many other people in the keto, low carb space, I guess you'd say. But Rob Wolf said that if your food has labels on it, you're shopping for the wrong stuff in the first place. So your food shouldn't really have a label. And what he means by that is like, when you go and buy meat from the butcher, there's not a label on that, right? And those are the kind of foods that we're looking for mainly. We want the majority of our food to come from that. And when you buy fresh groceries or you buy fresh produce, vegetables and fruit and stuff, you don't see any like labels. It's just like you're just grabbing a big bundle of spinach or whatever it is, a big bundle of lettuce. Aside from that, when you are reading food labels, I think you can kind of have a top-down thing of beliefs that fit your belief systems the best. For one person, they might not like high fructose corn syrup. For somebody else, they might strictly be just looking at calories. For me, I probably fall somewhere in the middle. I try not to view anything as being bad, but some things are literally bad for me because then certain things I have a hard time backing away from. And the certain thing could be a kind of health food. It could be a Quest bar. There's a new product out that I really like. It's from a company called Chalk Zero, and they make these peanut butter cups. And these peanut butter cups are unreal. They kind of almost match like a Reese's peanut butter cup, which is my favorite thing in the whole world. I can't really eat Chalk Zero peanut butter cups because I end up in the same boat as if I was to eat regular peanut butter cups, and that's not being able to control my appetite and overeating and eating too much. So I am a big believer in food choices. That's kind of where I always start. And I think if you make the correct food choices, you don't need to worry about what you eat. But you also need to know what are triggers for things that will lead me down the road of overeating. Because if you're overeating on carbohydrates and fat, you will gain fat very easily. If you're overeating on protein, it's debatable. I personally don't think that you will get any fatter at all. I actually think that you can get leaner by eating a lot of protein. But protein doesn't come by itself. It usually accompanies other calories, and therefore that's what you end up with the problem as. But in terms of reading food labels and looking at them and being in a grocery store, I'm usually looking at protein and I'm usually looking at fat. Those are the main things. In terms of whether it has like MSG in it or whether it has artificial sweeteners, I'm not really that against artificial sweeteners. However, I don't really like sugar alcohols for multiple reasons. Number one is they make you really gassy. They really mess up your stomach. In small doses, they're okay, and they do sweeten up some products. But number two reason why I don't like sugar alcohols is because it's my belief that that people will say that when you have alcohol that your body has to kind of run that through its system first before it can metabolize anything else. And so I think that sugar alcohol would be put into that category because it is an alcohol. So any alcohol that you take in will prevent you from burning fat. It'll prevent you from burning sugar. It'll prevent you from burning energy because your body has to process the alcohol first. It has to pay attention to that first because it's a poison. And I believe the same thing would be true of a sugar alcohol, but I don't actually know. But I like to stay away from them because of what they do to my stomach and because they normally put me in a position of, again, overeating. I don't want to overeat. I'm trying to avoid overeating. So how do I avoid overeating? I avoid overeating by eating natural whole foods such as steak, hamburger, elk, bison, chicken, turkey, whole eggs, fruit, vegetables, all those kinds of things are kind of fair game to me. Lastly, I'll kind of finish up with, you might want to really look at Protein, I think, would be like kind of number one, is to make sure something's high in protein. Usually if it's high in protein, it will be like at least medium in terms of its fat content. It's rare for something to have like 25 grams of protein and 25 grams of fat, although sometimes some of the fattier meats will sometimes have that. A ribeye might have that. But protein I'd look at first. I'd look at fat content second. If things have carbohydrates in them, then I would keep my eyes, if things have carbohydrates in them, I would keep my eye on the fats. Because I don't really, for me personally, I don't want to have fat and carbohydrate combination. I'm not too worried about ingredients. I'm not going to be crazy about sucralose. I'm not crazy about aspartame. I'll consume these things. There's some people online that basically say no calories, no harm. I think it's Greg Doucette who says that, no calories, no harm. And I don't know if I believe that 100%, but if you can keep yourself from getting fat, you're going to be healthier. So if you're a fat guy right now and you're like, I can't believe he said that about artificial sweeteners, they're totally dangerous. Being as fat as you are right now is more dangerous. Trust me on that. So anything that you can do to read these food labels and to have yourself heading in a direction of losing weight. There's a lot of research that shows if you lose, I think it's something like 10% of your body weight, that you get some really amazing health benefits just from losing 10% of your body weight. So if you weigh 300 pounds, if you were to lose 30 pounds, which really isn't that much weight when you weigh 300 pounds, it's an effort. You could probably lose 15 pretty easily if you made a new commitment to yourself. The other 15 would be a little bit tough. But so what? You'd lose 30 pounds and you enjoy most of the health benefits that you're going to get from weight loss in that 10%. So to me, it makes the most sense to really try to figure out ways of driving down the overall amount of food that you consume and figuring out ways to move more. People say move more and they say eat less. You can't really eat less and move more because you don't have the energy for it. You need to be putting the energy in to be able to drive the energy out, right? So the only way you're going to do that is by being smart and making great food choices. So your food should always have protein in it. Every single meal that you have for every day for the rest of your life should have about 30 grams of protein in it all the time. We can give or take a little bit on that depending on your size, but you should be eating that and you should have several meals every single day. And if you do that over a long period of time, you're going to be driving down the overall amount of calories that you're consuming and you'll be in better shape. Hopefully, guys, you've found this to be super useful. Strength is never a weakness. Weakness is never a strength. Catch you guys later. Whoosh.